Hey everybody, this is Scrang at of twitch.tv/Scrang, SCRENG. Please drop me a follow if you don't mind and if you like this video. Uh, what we're talking about today is a bunch of recent changes I've made to my controls and options that have given me much better performance at all battle ratings of air realistic battles, air RB, but especially at the higher tiers, um, when you have radar missiles, IR missiles, and perhaps two different types of bombs, or there's a variety of weapon systems. I knew all the theory behind them all. You can practice dropping your laser bombs and this, that, and the other 100 times in test flights, and you understand how the radar gimbal works and this, that, and you just get smashed when you play. But well, not literally smashed, but you end up getting shot down when you actually go to play, and it's like, how are these people cycling through their weapons so fast? I mean, that person fired a radar locked missile at me and then immediately fired an IR missile. How did they do that so quickly? And things of that nature. And it turns out that even though I had all the proper keybinds I needed, I had really too many. And I didn't know how to simplify. Well, I figured out how to simplify. And I also found out, to my surprise, I had some options set incorrectly or not set properly. I don't know how you want to phrase it, that were working against me. So I wanted to share all what I've come across lately. So I'm in settings, or I'm sorry, options. We're going to go to Air RB. The first thing we're going to look at is going to sound very counterintuitive. Like, of course you would want this enabled. Why did you never not have it enabled? Well, I got various experts and different people. I'm lucky to have some high skill friends, and they have a more complicated way of doing things that works for them. But I highly recommend switching the cyclic target or switching of aircraft radar to yes. This means you can set a keybind, and if there are 3 or 4 blips on your radar, you can hit the one button to cycle through them before hitting the key to lock them up. Some players prefer this off, which means that they can use like a mouse style controller or WASD to move around a cursor on their radar scope to target things. I found that miserable, but I tried it for a while because that was what people smarter than me did. Well, sometimes you just have to do things the simple way. Not everyone is Einstein. Uh, Now, the next thing was disable radar antenna elevation stabilization at mission start. I have this on yes. Yes meaning disable it. So what's the tooltip tell us? When this function is enabled, meaning the toggle is to no, the radar antenna will move up and down relative to the aircraft. When disabled, it will move up and down relative to the horizon. This means that as you maneuver your plane, you don't have to worry about the sort of the vertical. Uh, you can you can slew your radar left and right on the scope, uh, but the vertical aspect of it will be stuck to the horizon and will move on its own to stay pointing at the horizon. Now, this is bad if you're a super pro trying to target somebody like straight above you or something, like, well, gimbal limit above you or below you and doing kooky stuff. Um, but for regular people who are not playing esports, they're just in a random match. Uh, you're gonna have your plane vaguely pointed at them, or if it's off off axis, it's going to be to the left or the right. Um, and so this simplifies one aspect of it. I didn't know that, and so any change to the pointing of my nose in the vertical was causing missiles to lose lock, because the way your brain, or at least my brain, intuitively thinks is uh, sort of requires this to be set to yes to remove one of the variables. And I think that was the last one from options. No. What am I looking for? Here. Sorry. Automatic activation of aircraft weapon selection at mission start. Yes. I had a key to do this, and I was hitting that key at the start of every battle. Well, now we have one less keybind because it just turns on automatically. But we need a way to turn that off situationally and then back on. So we want to start with it on, but in our keybinds we're going to go look at right now, we need a way of turning that off if necessary. So looking at our controls, and let's go to weaponry here. Now this is going to come in for the second part, but well, you'll notice that we have one button for fire secondary weapons. You might think, well, secondary weapons, that's like what, air to ground missiles or something like that. I want to be able to fire Fox 1s and Fox 2s. Well, we're doing fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to come down to here to switch secondary weapons. So we just looked at a key to fire them, num4 for me, and we have a key to switch them, num7. Now here's a little caveat I was saying. We need some way, and for me it's Control Q. I don't know why, but we need to be able to exit circumstantially or the selected weapon mode. The main reason is so you can use your drop bomb series key again. You cannot drop bomb series in selected weapon mode. You need to exit, drop your bombs, and then probably go back into it. And the beauty of it is you don't need a keybind to enter selected weapon mode, because just hitting this key to switch will automatically put you back into it. So now that's sort of two keybinds I was able to get rid of, and uh, simplify my gameplay. Here's where it got squirrely, and I really didn't believe the person when I was first trying to work through this. Fire air to ground missile, not defined. Fire air to air missile, not defined. From now on, any weapon we use num7 to select will be dropped by, or fired, or launched, or flung, whatever, by num4. Every key has the same button to fire it. Other than your cannons and machine guns, but there's even a bonus for those too. That's why I said this works as an improvement for all battle ratings. And we have a weapon lock key. That's a bit of, we'll get to that in a second. Generally speaking, you may or may not need it. You'll need it for, I guess, the lock for radar. But what we really want it for is, I used to have a separate button around here called something about seeker heads, like turning off seeker heads. So that was the third keybind I could get rid of, because if I accidentally lock something now, this acts as a toggle, which had never really occurred to me before. So if I accidentally lock up a friendly aircraft with a radar missile or an IR missile, I can just hit the weapon lock as a toggle to unweapon lock them. So that's really a third key. And you can imagine me just madly flailing around trying to target people, targeting the wrong one, and then not being able to quickly unlock them to lock an enemy. A red, dang reds. And let me just check my list here. Yeah, I think we're good to go. And I showed off my horribly ugly exit selected. So let's try to show off what I mean here. So here we have just a premium, and I've selected two different kinds of missiles. Both are IR, and we have a nice little gun pod, and we have some laser guided. Actually, they're I'm gonna forget the term. GPS guided. Uh, so anyways, it's a bomb. Let's just call it, it's a guided bomb, but it's still a bomb. It's not a missile. So normally in the old days, I'd have to cycle through these and use my fire air to air And for these, I'd have to use either fire, air to ground, or hit like spacebar to drop bomb. All right, and those days are over. So let's go ahead and take a quick. It's simple, but let's just go through a test flight. So when the game starts, because we selected it, it's automatically in weapon selection mode, and we can see that it has the PL5E22 selected. So for me, it was num7. I can just hit num7 to go through all my stuff, and you can see the CCIP comes on automatically. I can hit my bizarre Control Q if I need to get out of this. Now with weapon selection off, my key to drop bomb series works again. And if I want to get back into it, I just hit my num7. And the first time I hit it, it doesn't actually select a weapon. It just says, hey, you're back in weapon selection mode. And now I'm back just to quickly cycling through all of my weapons. So that's the first benefit of it. And again, with these, num4 is going to work for all of them. There's num4 dropping a laser guided bomb. I hit num7. There's it trying to lock it up. You get the idea. And then I got my yeah, I can turn my seeker off with a keybinds for actually weapon lock. And pardon me, I turned my radar on accidentally. So one key to cycle the weapons, one key to drop them no matter what they are. ATGM, air-to-air, radar, IR, or just a simple dumb bomb. And we can easily exit it if we want to drop a bomb series, and then we can go back into it when we're done. So what was the second thing that I was excited about? This game is quite a surprise. Before, I had one key, my left mouse button, to fire machine guns. And I had, most people probably have a separate key to fire the cannon, so they're not just automatically spamming everything. I was not one of those people. I had a key that was fire everything. So if I, and for me it was right alt, not that convenient of a key, because it's a completely different hand for me than my mouse. You want to keep your hand on your mouse. But with this new weapon selection automatically on, you can look in the upper left, and it has both my machine gun and cannon. And yes, that means instead of having to hit alt, now I can just click the left mouse button and machine guns and cannons fire. This is huge for me, because right alt was just not convenient, and the left click was just my machine guns before. So now I have one key to fire all of my my machine gun and cannon armament. Anyways, I appreciate your time, and hopefully this helps some people simplify their key structure. This, for me, not only got rid of 3 different keybinds, but really sped up the process of selecting and launching armaments. And good lord, I just love the fact that my cannons and machine guns now fire with my mouse instead of with right alt. Thank you again for watching.